Hello and welcome to a game we like to call Netrunner. Today we've got a game from the London meetup where I'm playing an Azmari deck against a Sable deck. So first things first, we play a Subliminal Messaging, a card I think really does fit in this deck for making sure that when you're discarding down all those cards that you overdraw with, you can get some credits out of it. And then we put down a piece of ice, a Messenger Chestbow in this case, and then we tuck behind it a Rashida, which we're very happy to have in our opening hand. And then we hand over to Sable to take their first turn. And they roll R&D as their mark. They decide click 1 to Bravado straight in, which we'd like not to have to res it, but we're happy to because it takes away 2 of their credits from the subroutine firing and also prevents them getting an extra credit from getting through, and of course stops them taking down the Rashida. And then they're going to draw here. And then they're just working out what next to do. Drawing again. And then deciding now that the best thing to go for is, after deciding that probably is a Rashida, and it's best that they get rid of it, running their mark with Pinhole to get a click back, and then taking out the Rashida. And then for their last click, playing Mutual Favor. Obviously, it's triggered because there's been a successful run, so then they get to go in and go get their Shibboleth, which is going to help them get through that Messenger Chestbow. So now we know that we are not safe, and we do have the re-education in hand. So I actually decide to draw a few cards, play YDL so that I can get some credits back. And then actually, I think the safest place for the re-education is in the server, so I just put it in there. I feel pretty confident with the number of credits they're on, and considering they're Sable and they generally want to run Centrals a bit more, that they're probably not going to go after it, so we leave them to it. And also this way it means if they if they roll a HQ mark, which they would obviously take the free peek, we can make sure there is a 0% chance that they find a agenda in headquarters. In this case, they get an Archives mark, and they take some credits to get up so they can play a Sure Gamble next turn, and we realise afterwards they should have ran Archives for free because it stops me getting the Subliminal Messaging back. So we said they did that. Then I decide to try and overdraw a bit because I've got a second re-education in hand that I'd rather not have sitting in my hand right now. And also I'm looking for more ice because there's no way I can score out or hope to win if I currently have a single piece of ice and they have a card that says I can break that ice for a few amount of credits. So we draw up YDL and then we discard down 2 cards at the end, one of which is a re-education, I believe, so we're happy to shuffle that back in. It could be a degree mill, in which case it makes even more sense for us to chuck it in the bin and consider shuffling it back in because we never plan to score such a card. So here they played a Sure Gamble, so we get our 2 credits. Then they're going to Dirty Laundry because they want to play all their events at once against Azmari. In this case, they see Attitude Adjustment. That's no problem for us. And we're pretty happy to be able to be drawing that next turn because that means instead of using this Spin Doctor, we can just play Attitude Adjustment to shuffle back that agenda and keep it safe. And they finish by playing Class Act, which we're not too worried about because on this turn, it's a pretty... Yeah, we're not going to kill them this turn, so we do not mind them having plenty of cards in hand. So in this moment, we go for a Sudden Commandment to try and again look for more pieces of ice, and then we play the Attitude Adjustment. And here I realise I forgot to actually take the 2 credits back for revealing an agenda. Instead, I just paid 2. So when we call it a credit perfect run at the end, actually I should have had 2 more credits. But anyway, now we know that our board is reasonably safe. Obviously, we're just chancing it with R&D. We install a new piece of ice and we play a Subliminal Messaging just to keep our credits up a bit. And we've got a second card in there. At this point, I thought there might be a way that I can score out here. But I'm a little too low on credits. Even if they do play an event and give me 2 more, I'm too low on credits to make it happen. And also I'm too low on clicks to actually be able to make it happen. So we weren't really threatening at all. But despite that, they drop down here so that they can get some extra credits when they run R&D for free. You see a ping. And then they decide to inside job the remote. On the outside, we've got an FTP, so I'm thinking about not rezzing it, but I'd rather them lose some credits because I know that in my hand I've got a Punitive, so the lower on credits they are, the more likely I am to be able to actually play both of them. So they bypass the FTP, and then they go and access.
Well, now we're fucked.
And now it dawns on them that things are not looking so great. So they do what they can with the rest of their turn. And then now I'm quickly checking whether there's anything worth shuffling back. Sudden Commandment isn't worth it because it costs one. And is the same as spending a click to draw a card. I guess maybe it's not quite like that, but looking at the odds, I think it's better off that I just stick with what we've got. So I draw, play a Sudden Commandment into a Subliminal, which I have to boost by 1 to get above their trace. And then I do actually have the second Punitive Counter-Strike there to finish them off. And here I was just running through how the Subliminal gave me those 2 extra credits that I thought I needed, even though that was because I misplayed Attitude Adjustment. And then looking at whether I'd be able to afford what I thought I was going to do, and it turns out I was a little bit wrong in my calculations. So the more I play this deck, the more I get used to figuring out what those numbers need to be and making sure I'm top of it. Thanks for watching.